Have you ever looked at someone else's life and quietly wondered, why can't my life be like theirs? Maybe you believed they were happier, more successful, more loved, or simply more fortunate than you. Every day, millions of people carry the silent pain of comparison, never realizing that the people they envy may be fighting battles hidden behind their smiles. But what if the happiness you've been searching for was already in your life this whole time? What if the very thing you dislike about yourself is actually your greatest blessing? Tonight, on Lessons for Life Tales, we bring you a powerful story about a lonely crow who spent his life wishing he could become someone else, until one unexpected journey revealed a truth so deep it changed him forever. Stay with us until the end, because this simple story may completely change the way you see your own life, your struggles, and the blessings you never noticed before. Now, let us begin this unforgettable journey. Deep inside a thick green jungle, where colorful birds filled the sky with beauty and song, there lived a lonely crow who hated everything about himself. Every morning, while the other birds danced proudly through the sunlight, the crow would stare at his dark black feathers with sadness in his eyes. "Why was I born like this?" he would whisper to himself. "Why couldn't I be beautiful like the others?" The more he looked at the bright feathers around him, the more miserable he became. Day after day, he compared himself to every bird he saw, believing they all lived happier and better lives than his own. One afternoon, unable to hold his pain any longer, the crow sat on a tree branch and cried deeply. His tears fell softly through the leaves, like tiny drops of rain. Beneath that tree sat a wise old sage, quietly meditating in complete peace. Feeling the tears touch his face, the sage slowly opened his eyes and looked up at the sorrowful bird above. "My dear crow," the sage asked gently, "why is your heart so full of sadness?" The crow flew down with trembling wings and said, "I am tired of being myself. I am ugly, unwanted, and cursed with these black feathers. I wish I could become any bird in this world except a crow." The wise sage smiled calmly and replied, "Perhaps your suffering comes from not understanding the lives of others. Go into the world and find me one bird who is truly happy with his life. Then return to me, and your answer will become clear." Determined to find the happiest bird in the world, the crow continued his journey through the jungle until he arrived at a peaceful crystal-clear lake. Floating gracefully across the water was a magnificent swan, his white feathers glowing like silver beneath the morning sun. The crow's eyes widened with admiration. "Surely," he thought, "this bird must live the perfect life." He flew closer and said softly, "Brother Swan, you are so elegant and beautiful. Everyone who sees you must admire you. You must be truly happy." But to the crow's surprise, the swan lowered his head sadly and let out a deep sigh. "Happy?" the swan whispered. "No, my friend. My feathers are only plain white. There is no excitement in my colors. Every day I wish I could be bright and colorful like the parrot." The crow stood frozen in confusion. How could someone so graceful feel unhappy? As he flew away, his heart grew heavier with questions. Soon, he found a vibrant green parrot resting high on a mango tree, its colorful feathers shining brilliantly among the leaves. "Brother Parrot," the crow said excitedly, "the swan envies you because your colors are so beautiful. You must surely be living a wonderful life." But the parrot nervously looked around before speaking in a quiet voice. "Beautiful? These colors are my curse. Humans are always trying to capture me and lock me inside cages. I can never truly relax. Every sound fills me with fear." The crow listened silently as the parrot continued, "I envy birds like you who can fly unnoticed through the world without being hunted for their appearance." For the very first time, the crow began to realize something unexpected. Sometimes, the birds who appear the happiest are carrying the deepest hidden fears. Still searching for a bird who was truly happy, the crow flew deeper into the jungle until a flash of brilliant red caught his attention. Perched proudly on a branch was a stunning cardinal, his feathers glowing like fire beneath the sunlight. The crow stared at him in amazement. "Brother Cardinal," he said, "your beauty is extraordinary. Surely a bird as magnificent as you must live a joyful life." But the cardinal's expression quickly darkened. He glanced nervously toward the sky before answering in a trembling voice. "You see beauty," he said softly, "but predators see a target. My bright feathers make it impossible to hide. Hawks and eagles can spot me from far away. Every day, I live with fear hanging over my head." The crow felt shocked once again. Another bird he admired was secretly suffering. As he continued his journey, he soon arrived at a colorful flower garden buzzing with life. There he found a tiny hummingbird darting from flower to flower faster than the eye could follow. She looked graceful, light, and free. "Sister Hummingbird," the crow called out, "you must surely be happy. You can fly so beautifully and effortlessly." The hummingbird paused for a brief moment, breathing heavily from exhaustion. "Happy?" she whispered tiredly. "My life is endless work. From sunrise to sunset, I must constantly search for nectar just to survive. My wings never stop moving. My heart races every second of the day. Even when I rest, I am still exhausted." Then she looked toward the distant mountains and said quietly, "Sometimes I wish I were strong and powerful like the eagle, able to soar peacefully above the world without struggling every moment to survive." The crow flew away in silence, slowly beginning to understand that even the greatest gifts in life often come with hidden pain. As the sun began to disappear behind the distant mountains, the crow continued his journey and finally reached the highest peak in the jungle. There, standing proudly against the cold wind, was a mighty eagle. His massive wings stretched across the sky, like a king ruling over the world below. The crow felt certain he had finally found the happiest bird alive. "Brother Eagle," he said with admiration, "you are powerful, fearless, and respected by everyone. Surely your life must be perfect." But the eagle's sharp eyes slowly filled with sadness. He turned away toward the empty horizon and spoke in a heavy voice. "Power does not bring happiness, my friend. Every creature fears me. No one comes close to me unless they must. I fly above the world alone every single day." The crow looked stunned as the eagle continued. "Sometimes I wish I could be wise like the owl. People admire wisdom. They seek guidance from those who understand life." That night, the crow searched through the dark forest until he found an old owl sitting silently on a twisted tree branch beneath the moonlight. His large glowing eyes looked calm and intelligent. "Brother Owl," the crow said, "the eagle envies your wisdom and respect. You must surely live a peaceful life." The owl let out a slow, sorrowful sigh. "Respect?" he whispered bitterly. "People fear me because they think I bring bad luck. When children see me, they throw stones and chase me away. Others avoid me because they are afraid of what they do not understand." The owl lowered his head and added quietly, "I often wish I were beautiful like the peacock. At least beauty makes people smile instead of fear." As the crow listened in silence beneath the moonlit sky, he began realizing a painful truth. Power, intelligence, and status could never guarantee peace inside the heart. The next morning, the crow's journey led him beyond the jungle to a crowded zoo filled with people staring in wonder at exotic animals. As he flew over the cages, his eyes suddenly locked onto the most breathtaking creature he had ever seen. Standing proudly inside a golden enclosure was a magnificent peacock. His feathers shimmered with dazzling shades of blue, green, and gold, spreading behind him like a living rainbow. Visitors gathered around him in amazement, pointing at his beauty with admiration. The crow's heart sank. This must be it, he thought. This must be the happiest bird in the entire world. He flew closer to the cage and said softly, "Brother Peacock, your beauty is beyond imagination. Everyone loves you. Everyone admires you. Surely your life must be perfect." For a moment, the peacock remained silent. Then, slowly, he lowered his magnificent tail and looked at the crow with eyes filled not with pride, but pain. "Perfect?" the peacock whispered sadly. "Look around you carefully, my friend. Do you see these bars? My beauty brought me here. People captured me because they admired me too much. Every day, strangers stare at me as if I am some treasure they own. They praise my feathers, but none of them understand what I lost." The crow listened quietly as the peacock continued in a trembling voice. "I would give up every beautiful feather I have, just to fly freely through the sky again. The crow felt shocked deep inside. "But everyone envies you," he said. The peacock stepped closer to the cage bars and replied, "And do you know who I envy the most? You." The crow froze in disbelief. "Me?" he asked. "Yes," the peacock said gently. "You are free. You can fly wherever your heart desires. No cage holds you. No one hunts you for your beauty. Freedom is worth far more than admiration. A free bird with ordinary feathers is far happier than a beautiful bird trapped behind bars." In that moment, something inside the crow began to change forever. With his heart racing and his mind overflowing with emotion, the crow flew back through the jungle faster than ever before. The world around him suddenly looked different. The same trees, the same sky, and even the same black feathers he once hated no longer felt like a curse. Beneath the old tree, the wise sage still sat peacefully in meditation, as if he had been waiting all along. The moment the crow landed beside him, he spoke with excitement in his voice. "Wise one," the crow said, "I finally understand now. I traveled across the world, searching for the happiest bird. But every creature I met was secretly suffering." The sage slowly opened his eyes and listened quietly as the crow continued. The swan hated his plain feathers. The parrot lived in fear of cages. The cardinal feared predators every day. The hummingbird was exhausted from endless work. The eagle suffered from loneliness. The owl was rejected and feared by others. And the beautiful peacock. The crow paused for a moment, his voice growing softer. The peacock was trapped because of his beauty. The sage smiled gently and asked, "So tell me, my dear crow, which bird do you wish to become now?" For the first time in his life, the crow lifted his head proudly instead of lowering it in shame. A peaceful smile appeared across his face as he answered, "None of them. I want to remain a crow." The sage nodded warmly while the crow continued, "I spent my whole life focusing on what I lacked, while ignoring the greatest gift I already had, freedom. I can fly anywhere beneath the open sky. I am not trapped. I am not hunted for beauty. I am free." And in that beautiful moment, the crow's sadness disappeared, replaced by something far more powerful: gratitude. The story of the crow carries a lesson many people spend their entire lives trying to understand. So often, we look at others and believe they are happier, luckier, more successful, or more beautiful than we are. We compare our lives to theirs without ever seeing the struggles hidden behind their smiles. But the truth is, every person you admire is fighting battles you know nothing about. Comparison quietly steals peace from the heart, while gratitude has the power to heal it. The crow finally discovered that happiness was never about becoming someone else. It was about appreciating the blessings he already had. And maybe that lesson is meant for all of us too. Perhaps the things you dislike about your life today are blessings someone else is praying for right now. So instead of focusing on what is missing, take a moment to appreciate what is already yours: your freedom, your family, your health, your journey, and the simple gift of being alive. Now we would love to hear from you. What blessing in your life do you think you may have overlooked? Share your thoughts in the comments below, because your story may inspire someone else today. And if this story touched your heart, please like, share, and subscribe to Lessons for Life Tales for more meaningful stories that inspire peace, wisdom, and personal growth. Thank you so much for spending these moments with us. We sincerely wish you a life filled with peace, happiness, good health, gratitude, and the courage to appreciate the beautiful life you already have.